No Man's Sky is one of the biggest games the world has ever seen. The sheer vastness of this game cannot even be comprehended. There is 256 galaxies to explore, or another way that we can put it is very simple. If we take every single planet out of those galaxies and counted them, there is over 18 quintillion planets. That is 18 followed by 30 zeros. That is an extremely unfathomable number, and each and every single one of those planets you can fully explore, you can build on. So this is why you must play No Man's Sky in 2023. When you first start playing No Man's Sky, you'll start off as a generic character, and you'll be placed on a planet that chances are no one has ever seen before. From here, you'll be given a multitude of tasks to complete, such as finding a ship, building a base, and getting acquainted with things in space, but more on that later. When building your base, your imagination is your only limit. There is literally so many building parts and deployables to go ahead and go through. You can make any base exactly as your own. You could go ahead and build a mansion or a very humble box. That's completely up to you. In my case, I wanted to build a construction site of maybe a future base. Again, this is all down to you and how you visualize on what it is you want to build. The very terrain that you walk on can be manipulated and be dug out. You can build on it. You can add extra dirt on top of it. You can do almost anything. You can make shapes in the ground. Again, this is all fully up to you. Using the create function in the manipulator tool, I wanted to build a massive scary dinosaur in order to scare off the sentinels. And as you can see, I've got one part of it all done, and then from here, we can go ahead and just start making the legs of the massive dinosaur. And that will keep those pesky sentinels at bay. Now, if you've never played No Man's Sky before, you may be asking yourself, what exactly are sentinels? And the best way that I feel I can put this is very simple. They are like your nagging ex-wife, constantly at your heels for the slightest thing. You brush past a tree too vigorously, it's your fault. You tread on the wrong patch of dirt, it's your fault. You burnt the Christmas dinner that one time and she packs up and leaves you, it's your fault. God damn it, Barbara. Sorry about that outburst. Anyway, yeah, so sentinels are basically a big pain in the ass, and they're on pretty much most planets. So moving onwards, on most planets, and then remember that's like near enough 18 quintillion planets, on 3/4 of those planets quite easily, there will be animals of some description, and these are all procedurally generated animals as procedurally generated planets and so on, which means you'll never find an animal looking like exactly like this again, no matter where it is you search. You can always find this, for example, exact animal on this one planet, which is absolutely insane. And you can go ahead and capture them, you can feed them, you can milk them if that's your sort of thing, or you can just flat out ride them, which is always fun, and you can do this and explore the planet to your heart's content. It's absolutely amazing. Now, if you do, for example, tame the creature yourself, they all come with different abilities. Some of them will defend you if they're aggressive, some of them will, for example, find buried treasure. It's honestly a wonderful, useful tool to have, and you can have a whole library of animals that you find on unique and different planets, and you can show them off in the Space Anomaly. More on that later. So the next thing I want to talk about is the currency system in No Man's Sky, and also trade rockets, because it kind of all ties into that. So if we go into our exosuit here, first of all, you'll have your technology of your exosuit. Your exosuit is your backpack that you carry around with you no matter where it is that you go. Now, you can upgrade this backpack, for example, to give yourself better thrusters, to give yourself a refiner on your backpack, where you can go ahead and smelt things and get new items from it. It's more complicated than that, but that's basically the gist of it. And you can also install a trade rocket. Now, a trade rocket is what you see in front of me right here. This comes down from outer space. You can put in any item that you want to go ahead and sell in that trade rocket, and then you can sell it. And for that, anything that you sell in there will give you units. Units are very useful for buying items. More on that later. Nanites buy you upgrades, and Quicksilver buy you very exclusive items from the Quicksilver shop. Again, more on that later. But once you're done and you want to sell everything, look at how cool that is. You literally just press sell and the whole thing will just fly off in the air. And it actually legitimately goes all the way out into space and goes to the nearest space station. It is wild. The next thing I want to talk about is ships. There are a whole different classes of ships, from C class all the way up to S class, which is the best. There is also different types of ships, such as explorers, fighters, and so on. I won't spoil everything for you here today. And there's also different shapes. So there are actually dedicated groups of people that are in massive communities that go out and just go and explore and hunt down different types of ships that look different, and they have all unique different behaviors and stats and characteristics. It is mind-blowing. Not only that, you can upgrade those ships again by going to a space station. More on that in just a little moment. And you can also mine in space. There are rocks in space that you'll need to mine in order to fuel the ships that you are flying for certain types. It's just mind-blowing. But yeah, this is just another one of those things. So let's go on now to space station, seeing as though we are now right here. Now, usually you'll find a space station in virtually every system. Some systems, however, will have no space stations. Some of them will have abandoned space stations, which means everything's been gutted out and there's nothing really in it anymore. Or you even have outlaw stations. But again, that is something for another day. And in these space stations, you can buy, sell, trade, you can pick up missions, you can pick up maps that will, only for that particular system, that will go ahead and locate such as ruins and things like that to progress whatever it is that you're trying to do. And located within every single space station is one of these. Now, this is a teleportation terminal. And if you've ever seen Star Trek SG-1, you'll know exactly what this is. It's basically a warp gate. If you have visited another space station before, or you have one of these in your bases, you put one of them down and you can travel from the space station directly down to your base by going through one of those things. It is ridiculous. And even here, we even have ships that are landing periodically, and this is what I'm talking about, the ship hunter side of things, because with these ships, I can see right now on the buy and sell page, you can talk to these guys and you can buy things off them, you can sell things to them, you can buy the ship off of them if you want, or you can exchange it for your ship, which doesn't then cost you any money, or it might be heavily reduced depending on what the value of your ship is. In my case, just for demonstration here, I went ahead and I bought a ship. Just like that, the guy was more than happy to sell it to me. So, for example, I've got a ship here, and more on that in just a small second. Now, this guy right here is a scrap dealer. That's all you need to know. Don't ask questions. But he's a scrap dealer, and he might sell the odd other things as well. Now, over here, you can find, for example, all of your shops where you can buy upgrades from. And that's everything from your multi-tool to your jetpack, to your ships, to your exocraft. You can just do all of it, buy all of it from there. It's wonderful. Located in the space station and in the anomaly as well, but more on the anomaly in just a little bit on top of that, is where you can customize your character. And there are different races, different body types, different heads, torsos, armor, gloves, you name it, you can customize it, which is absolutely beautiful. It's very well done, and everything is really nicely in depth, which is excellent. So for now, I'm going to keep with my guy, which is a robotic Gek. Now, back onto that ship that we just bought. So this is where it's called Starship Outfitting, and we can do a couple of things. We can sell the ship again using this console, or we can upgrade, for example, its class. Right now I believe it's a C class. We can upgrade it to a B class, which makes it a little bit better, gives it slightly better stats, and we can upgrade it a little bit more, such as purchasing storage space. Now, with the storage space means I can hold more items in its cargo area. I can, for example, upgrade its technology bays as well, and I can get more technology in this one craft. And every time I do that, it's actually worth a lot more, which then I can go ahead and sell it and get my money back anyway, which is always super nice. The next up is the Anomaly. Now, the Anomaly is where you'll do the bulk of your storyline missions. You'll also be able to do daily missions here, and it's also a lobby all rolled into one. And now a lobby is where you can go ahead and meet other travelers, and they'll be all completing missions, buying things from here, or just socializing and showing off the creatures. It's a wonderful place, and unfortunately it's not as big as I would like. Now currently you can get roughly around 15 to 20 players in the lobby, which is still nice, but I do wish there was more. But nonetheless, at the very central console here, you can see the Nexus. Now, the Nexus is where, for example, you go and complete daily missions, and you'll be rewarded with items, units, nanites, or Quicksilver, depending on what mission it is that you're partaking in. Over here is the Quicksilver Synthesis Companion. Now, this is where you'll spend your hard-earned Quicksilver and unlock unique items in the game that you won't be able to find anywhere else. And then up top here, and again, I won't go through all the shops, but all the shops up here, you'll spend nanites on, and they're for further upgrades for your jetpack and so on. And over here at the back is where, for example, you can go and unlock more unique items, such as extra building materials, building research, that kind of thing. It's absolutely amazing, and for this, you'll use something called salvage data, which you can only find on the planet's surfaces, and you'll have to dig for them. The Anomaly as well is also filled with unique NPCs, but the ones that you'll be speaking most to is this guy here called Nada and this guy over here called Polo. They are integrated into the main storyline virtually throughout, and you'll be always speaking to these chaps. You'll also find a massive teleportation terminal located just at its rear section, and again it works exactly as the smaller ones in the space stations. Another really cool, nice thing about this game is you can even have what I like to call space bases in the form of a massive freaking freighter with guns and its own fleet. It's ridiculous. And for example, those little freighters down there off in the distance, you can go up to that, land on them, and you can go and speak to the captain and buy it for yourself. This is how I've got mine right here. So, as the saying goes, here's one I prepared. Now, the landing bay in your freighter is all of your ships that you currently own. They are all stored there, which is excellent. You can come through these double doors up here, speak to the admiral that's in control of the ship on your behalf, because you're like the head admiral or whatever they're called, the commander. Come down here, you can manage your fleet, go into warp map, but more on that later. You can also come up to the back and you can build. So all this originally wasn't here. All this has been built by me, and you've got storage sections, you've got your own massive space garden that's full of everything, and you've got a mighty structure. And over to the behind us, don't worry about that. You also have loads and loads of extra room. You can build so much room on this thing, it's ridiculous. And for example, you can build save points up here, you can build refiners. There is just so much you can do with a freighter, and the best thing is it's portable. You can take it anywhere. You can spawn it in any solar system that you're in. You can, for example, activate this planetary probe table here, and it'll tell you exactly how many planets are in each system that you visited so far, including the one that you're currently in, and it'll give you great information whether they're a hot, cold planet and so on. It's absolutely phenomenal. Now, whilst we are in space, let's have a look at the galaxy map, and again, you can go through the galaxy map as well on your freighter. Now, this is the galaxy, and this is currently my little bubble in space. This is where I've explored, and you can see this is where I currently am right now. So this is the one small solar system that I'm in, and if we just go back a little bit, this is virtually everything that I've discovered so far, give or take. I've got a few buildings there and everywhere. And remember, those are all full systems with planets and everything else, and each star is a system. Now let's just go forward here. All these stars are systems. Let's go forward even more. Now, when I said at the beginning of this video there are 18 quintillion planets, I was not joking with you. There are so many systems here, it is ridiculous. Instead of going across, let's go straight down instead. So right now I'm aiming my little screen here straight down, and it's absolutely filled to the brim of systems that you can go to explore. And every single one of these planets and systems, chances are they've never been seen by anybody, which is mind-blowing. Instead of going down, let's go straight up, and every single one, again, is fully explorable. I just don't know how to get that across to you. It's just insane. And if you look at the top left of the screen as well, you can see where it says Galactic Cores, and we're just in Euclid Galaxy, which is the very first galaxy that you even start off in. I'm still exploring here. I haven't really ventured outside of this yet, and I've had near enough 3 years in the game. It's ridiculous. So there you go. That's just a small snippet, and that's only where that little ring is that you can see in the little galaxy map there. That's just where I am right now. And when I find a system that I think might be a good shout, then I'll just go ahead and warp straight over, and boom, you're transported from one system to another. And I've never been to this system. As you can see, first contact. Nobody has ever been here before. I am the first one to ever see it. Now, there is a multitude of things to do in No Man's Sky. You can set up a base, you can build a massive industrial complex where you're mining the very ground for different sorts of materials, for gases, or you can become a space pirate and have massive intergalactic battles with different ships, pirates, it's sentinels, it's crazy. Really is crazy. Even those freighters that we've seen before, you can actually attack them and steal loot from their cargo by blowing them up. It is insane. And this game also even has wonders and unique things you can go ahead and do, such as where there's been mistakes in the actual planetary code itself and there's two planets merged together. That's always fun to explore, and I won't spoil that for you, but it's just very funky with the gravity there. You could also, for example, explore black holes, get right up close to one, go through it if you so wish. It's, again, absolutely mind-blowing. And there's just so many different aspects to this game that it's hard to even put it into one video. I mean, I'm already near enough 17 plus minutes already just talking to you about the very basic things you can do in No Man's Sky. I've not even really scratched the surface yet. So, I mean, at the very beginning of this video, I said why you must play No Man's Sky in 2023. It's had updates after updates after updates, releasing different milestones that bring new things to the table, and from the game, from where it started to where it is now, with everything I've just explained, it's amazing. It's one of the best games to ever be made, and that might be a tall order, but that's what I personally believe. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Have you ever played No Man's Sky before? Are you currently playing No Man's Sky and been playing so for years like me? Let me know exactly what it is that you've been doing in the comment section down below. And as always, my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.